Hello guys, so today I want to teach us this design which is under our necklace making course. We call it Desire, and it's such an interesting name. I know we're going to do this simpler type which you can still use to do the very first one. We're going to need some needle. I have this very slim one, and then I will use 0.3 for this work, some leftover black seed beads. I believe this one is 11, some press lock, some stoppers, and stoppers are actually metallic beads which you can press. I'm using this local beads for the finishing. So we start by cutting our thread. Depending on how long you want the finished work to be, you can cut a yard or more. Because this one is a shorter version, I'm cutting a shorter amount of thread. You thread your needle and then you start picking. You first pick one and then you lock it. This is what we call a stopper bead. So you pass your needle from the back of the bead and go forward. So this will lock the thread or the work so that your subsequent beads will not come off when you are beading. Remember to leave some extra, maybe 10 inches of thread which we'll be using for the finishing at the end. Some of the beads can be quite big, so you will need to do it 2 times to ensure security. So this makes sure that when you are working, you can have one hand free. So we pick, this me trying to show you that it keeps the beads in place, trying to shake it for you to see. Now with this work, we start with a number of beads. You can count it, but I like to eyeball it. If you count it, it will look very, pristine, more put together, very demure. So I'm just going to use my eyes. What you're going to do is to go through the beads upwards. You don't cross it. When you're crossing, the threads go in opposite direction. But with this one, the threads are going in the same direction. I'll show you how the crossing look like. So we're going to use 3 beads as spacer beads. This is going to space the previous loop of beads from the next loop of beads. So after you pick the spacer beads, then you pick your number of beads that you're going to use for the loops, okay? Over time, you see that I pick them together. I just remove the 3 from it and then loop my beads. So with this one, because I am picking them randomly, you see that some of the loops are bigger than other ones. So this is my spacer beads, which are going to separate the previous loop from the next loop. If this is the first time you are listening to me or coming across any of my video, my name is Jennifer Namele Afi Amate. I'm Jenny's Beats CEO. So here I'm trying to show you that don't cross the thread but go upwards. You see that both threads are facing up, you see. So we have this nice oval shape loop. Now, if you decide to do it the crossing way, just be consistent with it. It will give you a different shape. You understand? But if you choose the oval shape, just be consistent with it for an overall good looking, work done. So I'm trying to show you how it will look differently. So this is me crossing it. So in crossing the beads or the thread, each thread is going in opposite direction. So you see it's going in opposite direction. So you see that this loop looks a bit rounder than the previous ones that are a bit, oval in shape. If it is the oval one that you want, you do it over. If it is the round one that you want, just make sure you are repeating the same way of crossing your bead. So this one, I'm going towards the other thread. So take note of that. If you do it well, you see that there will be, looking like up and down kind of design. So at Jenny's Beads, we train in necklace making, fabric beading, slippers making, bridal hair accessories, bag making, everything beading we do. So this is how it's looking after a couple of loops. You see that up and down look Yes. I don't know why this place is like this. So here is me trying to finish one line. So just as we did in the beginning, at the end of every strand of work, you're going to pick a number of beads without looping it, and then you do the stopper bead at the end, the other end as well. So I'm going to lay it flat and you're going to see how it will look. So I'm doing it twice because the bead has a big hole. Yeah, so this preserve your work or prevent your work from coming off. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, this side has a longer starting point and the other side has a longer ending point. You need it. So when we finish the whole work, you're going to see how differently it's going to make the work look. If you like to, you can skip that part. Yeah, I'm trying to say that you can make it longer than this. Just cut your thread longer. So this after 3 pieces. And now I'm trying to put all of them together. If this video educates you in any way, try and subscribe and share it with other people so they will be blessed. I plan to do more videos. The more subscribers I get, the more intricate the works get. Try and go on our page and see some of the amazing things we do. And I believe you'll be interested in subscribing. So when you're trying to end this work, you bring all of them together, one side of the thread of each strand of the work together. You make sure that all the ends are together, and then we are going to make a knot. We're going to tie a knot. You're trying to get the knot to be very close to the ends of the beads as much as possible. Try to get them very close, and it becomes difficult when you are doing a lot of strands. As you can see, one of them escaped. So this is how you kind of like correct that. You pull it and then you try and spread the thread throughout the rest of the work. So now it looks good. So you want your ends to be together and the knotting very good. So you're going to do the same thing to the other side of the strand of work that you've done. So here's me trying to get that done at the other side. Now, something happened with this particular way of making this necklace, and I'll be turning it into a different necklace at the end. So, what's the end? So, this is what we have after we're done. There's a shorter version compared to the red and yellow one I showed at the beginning. So, here I'm going to try to end the work. I want the ends of my thread to be equal, so I cut off the excess, and that affected the work at the end. So usually I use bigger beads to do the finishing, and if the hole in the bigger bead is big enough to cover the knot, then that's very, very good. However, there will be times where you will need what we call beading shower. You understand? But these longer beads are quite big, so they cover the knot very nicely. However, if you don't have bigger beads or you are doing more of the strands, you need these caps or shower caps, they call them, you put them before you start arranging the rest of your beads. You understand? But in this case, the holes in the beads are enough to cover the knot, so we are just going to strand it straight away. You can also sometimes put the shower caps for decorative purposes. Now I realized the stopper beads that I poured before were bits too small, so I went into my old stack and got this bigger, stopper beads. You need them to be bigger because we will be passing through them twice. I like to pick a small crystal or seed bead so that the stopper beads will not enter the big hole of the local beads or the bigger beads. So here's my lock. If you're using this type of lock, you have to take note that it actually separates into two parts. I've seen students passing one thread to two of the holes. So once you pass through the lock, you go back through the stopper beads. And this is the easiest way to end your necklaces. Because these are metallic beads, you can easily press them with your flat nose plier, which you'll see me do in a bit. So make sure you pull the thread very well. This is your flat nose plier. We have the round nose as well, which you'll be seeing in other videos that I have coming up. So you press it very, very firmly because you'll be cutting the rest of the thread very close to it. However, because this was short, I couldn't pull on the thread so much. So that's how close you want to cut, very close, because if you don't cut it very close, it might irritate the neck side of the client or customer. So that's it. One side is finished, and I'm going to do the same for the other side. But unfortunately, it couldn't hold. So I'm going to turn this design into a different design at the end. So we're doing the same thing that we've done here to the other side. I was trying to make sure that my thread was enough to see me through, but it is what it is. You're going to make sure that the number of beads you have at the other side is the same beads you have at the next side. You can also separate these bigger beads with smaller beads for decorative purposes. So now I'm passing through the other side of the press lock and then doing the same, going through the, metallic beads. And then press them. You need to press them very, very firmly. Our numbers will be in the caption. We offer online training and in-person training. We are in Ghana, Parakuo Estate to be precise. So this is our finished work. Yay! I was going to try it on and my son was in the background. Notice here, it came off. Yeah, it came off at this point. But I was trying to be a cool girl. My son was in the background giving me this boy, I love it.
It's a fly. Look at the
You guys listen.
My butterfly.
Thank you. But is it showing well? But wait, I'm going to change it into
on the
a
video.
different design.
It's good.
That's my boy over there. So after the other work was poured, I just removed the bigger beads and use both sides of the thread, tie them together as you're seeing me do here. Now this is also good for those who would like to make this like the yellow and red type that I showed at the beginning of the video. In this case, if you're doing a lot of strands, you have to do it this way. So you cut it, but don't cut it very close to the knot because we're going to use manches to, try to secure the ends. You're going to burn it, and as you are burning it, you will tap so that rubbery this thing will come together and prevent the knot from unraveling. You make sure you do it for every strand, okay? Do it for every strand so that everything will sit very, very well. So that's what we're doing. Please like and subscribe if you've watched till this part. I believe this video is teaching you something. Like the more subscribers I get, you see, this is it. So if you're doing a large number, you want to use a 0.5 or 0.6, which I'm using in this video, to do your finishing. Just cut enough to go around your neck, okay? So that's what we do with the plenty strands. When we are doing a lot of strands like the yellow one at the beginning, you separate the number of strands into two and then pass your bigger thread beneath your work. You do it for both sides like you saw me do with the other one. So this time it is necessary for me to use a shower cap. So this will cover the knots and give it a form of decorative look. Okay, sometimes it doesn't cover the knot, but you just want it to be there. You want a silvery, a silver, or a golden accessory in the beadwork. I'm going to use this bigger bead to, decorate it further. And then I'm going to separate the thread into two and bead each side differently, as you can see me do. use any beads of your choice. You can use pearls, you can use crystals, you can use anything. You can even use bigger size seed beads. As you can see, I'm trying to add a bit more length to the work by putting on those golden crystals. So this time I'm picking more stopper beads, which is 4 instead of 2, which I did previously. So I'm going to pass back. You pick the stopper beads, go through your lock, and then come back through the stopper bead and make sure you pull on it very, very well. When you pull on it, it pulls up the thread that will be closer to the strands of beads. If you don't pull on it, you finish and then you realize that it's very wobbly or the threads are even showing. You have excess thread in it. So we're going to do the same to the other side and, just repeat. If you have any questions or concerns, please drop them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Pick our numbers, call us, and come train with us. We have a lot of designs to teach. This is the design under our necklace making course. We have bridal hair accessory course. So this is the finished work. Yeah. I hope you like it. God bless you for watching. Bye.